Hi, I'm Eric Brown with Eric Brown Photography, and I'm bringing you today a product review of a case for my iPad that I just recently got for my birthday. It's one I've wanted for a long time, and I'm excited about it. And if you're anything like me, your iPad is an absolutely essential piece of hardware. I use mine for everything from word processing to texting to Facebook to internet to even in my photography business to present my portfolio to clients. To take clients after their shoot and show them their pictures during their ordering session. And so I use this all the time, and I like it. There's not much I would complain about. You know, I'm definitely an iPad kind of guy. You may or may not have an iPad. You may have some other kind of tablet. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother blog post. But what I wanted to share today with the case I got, because one complaint I have with the iPad, and the thing that took me the longest to get used to, was this on-screen keyboard. You know, I'm the kind of guy that when I type on a keyboard, my fingers rest on the keys and I just type from there. And that's kind of hard to do on this keyboard because it's touch sensitive. So anytime you touch it, you're typing something. And that took me a lot of getting used to. And you know, I'm at the point now after having an iPad for a few years where it doesn't bother me as much. I use it all the time. But for long typing, whether for a blog post or an article or just lengthy Facebook updates, such as I've done in recent times with my daughter Michaela and her accident recovery, I've wanted a case that had a keyboard that would be easier to type with. And for Christmas I got one that worked pretty well. It was just a leather case that had a little kickstand that you could set on the desk. In fact, here it is, and I like this case quite a bit. It's got the Bluetooth keyboard in there. This one in fact is detachable, which made it kind of nice if you wanted to make it a little bit more mobile. And then it had on the back here this kickstand that would work great for sitting on the desk. Now the issue I had with this was, one, it didn't work so well on my lap. If I was sitting in a chair or in bed or in a recliner or whatever and wanted to rest it on my legs, it didn't sit very well, and oftentimes it would fall down. And also that it wasn't adjustable as far as the angle of which you set the screen. And so it was kind of just a nitpick I had about it. I was thankful for it. It worked great. But I wanted a case for a long time that would basically turn my iPad into a laptop, because this is pretty much my laptop anymore. I have a MacBook. It's sitting right behind me, that way, and it just stays on my desk anymore. It's hooked to my monitor. It stays there. I use that for my heavy photo editing. That's really about the only thing I use that for. My iPad I use for everything else, from reading books and magazines to internet to whatever. And so I've long wanted a case that had a good Bluetooth keyboard with it. One that was adjustable, basically that would turn my iPad into a laptop when I wanted it to. And for that I found online, I got mine through Amazon.com, the Crux 360. This is a Delta model of the case, the latest one. Many of the reviews that I read about the Crux 360 had issues that seem to have been resolved in the new model. And so I was excited to get it. I got it for my birthday last week, and I've already opened it. So this isn't going to be really a proper opening and unboxing that many other people do, but I wanted to test it and use it for a while before I brought this review, because I want to give you my inputs, my thoughts on what I thought about this. And so I'll just kind of show you the packaging. It did come very well packaged. That's, to me, something that's very important. There's a side, there's the back that shows some of the different uses of it. But to me, packaging is a very important thing. It's a small detail that a lot of people don't usually pay attention to, but for me it speaks volumes to the quality of a product and at least to the attention to detail that a company puts into such. And so it came like that. It was taped on both ends. I cut that with a knife. It's a little bit of a tight fit pulling this out, which to me was good. You know, it's pretty in there, pretty secure. And so beyond just the sleeve that it came in, it's got this black box which has got some really kind of neat artwork on there. I don't know if you can quite see it or not. It's black, but it's etched on the top of the box, and is, to me, really kind of neat. I find that highly creative, and to me, again, makes it a little more interesting, and you know, all kind of adds to the Christmas present feel of opening something new you got in the mail. So again, just small things, but to me speak quite a bit. The top cover has got the styrofoam in there to protect it. I thought that was a nice feature. And then here's how it came. The case itself is in this little neoprene type bag, which I'll show you a little bit more detail. And then it's got a plastic tray on the inside. Again, I've already opened it, so I didn't have the tie anymore, but this is just a USB cable for charging it. It's got a mini USB port for plugging into your case, and then a regular USB. This goes right into your iPad charger, works in an iPhone charger, and probably any other number of chargers as well. I haven't tried plugging it into my computer to see if it'll charge that way, but I'm sure it probably would. And then just the rest of the box emptied, nothing else really in there. The black tray does come out, and there's a little styrofoam cushioning in there as well, which again I find very nice for padded and protection. So not very much chance, I would think, that you're going to buy one and get it damaged to you in the mail. And so the case itself, again, comes in this nice little neoprene bag. It does have a cinch close. Doesn't really stay closed though. Once you let go, it tends to open up, but it is a nice feature. This does work for wiping down the screen of your iPad as well, which for me is huge because I hate fingerprints. I cannot stand fingerprints on there. I mean, about every 20 minutes I'm wiping it down. And so that's nice to have as well. And then here's the case itself. Pretty nondescript black. It's got Crux there and kind of an aluminum spot there. The back of it, again, just a little identification of Crux there and a little identification plate there. The hinge seems like a pretty sturdy double hinge. And then when you open up the case, it's got right inside here the little blue instruction manual. That is where your iPad goes. It just pops right out, and then it's got the instructions on how to take care of it, charge it, insert it, pair it, all that kind of stuff, everything that you need. Again, some kind of neat artwork on there as well, which I find fascinating. And then the case itself. And so it's made out of plastic. So that is one little concern, is the durability of it. How well will it last up to dropping it? I don't know. I did drop it once from about 2 feet on accident, of course. And it held up just fine. The case is fine. I don't see any scratches or marks on it. And of course it protected my iPad, which is the most important thing, I think, in a case. This case here does have along the top a magnetic enclosure, so that when you close the case, it puts your iPad into sleep mode. When you open it, it wakes it up, just like the smart covers that come with Apple. So one other thing here I want to show you before I put in the iPad is this little area right here. You'll notice it's kind of like taped on. What that is, you can take this piece out on the back. It's right here. You can take that out, and you could have the aluminum back of your iPad exposed with the Apple logo if you so choose to do that. I'm not going to. I want this to protect the back. I don't want any scratches on it, so I'm going to leave that right there. It comes attached, and from what I understand, you can take it off, put it back on, although I think the tape would wear out after a while. Now it does have the different ports cut out on the edge for your camera and power button, for your headphone jack, for the wireless antenna, and then on this side for the speakers and for plugging it in there as well. So it makes it very simple to install the iPad. You just line it up with how it goes. It slips into the top where it actually is covered up a little bit, and then the bottom corners it just snaps. Okay, and it's very secure. This iPad is not going to come out. In fact, that's a complaint that some people had, is that it's a little bit of a challenge to get out, but that's okay. It's not too hard. What you do is just on the bottom corners where it snaps, you just unsnap it on each end, and then just stick a finger in there to pull out the iPad, and voila. Okay, so it's a very good secure case. All right, it's not going to come out very easily, which is fine. Of course, then your iPad is in landscape mode, which for me works best for typing. I would have it that way 99% of the time anyways when I'm typing, because the keyboard was bigger on screen. Right here you have the power button, and I'll just kind of go over the features of the keyboard. Power light lets you know when it's on. Green is on and charged. It turns red when it needs to be charged and when it's charging. And then you got your Bluetooth connect button here. After the initial pairing, it's fairly easy to pair. All you have to do is turn the case on. You see the green light right there, and then you can either hit the Bluetooth button or just hit any key, and you saw that the on-screen keyboard went away. This keyboard is now paired, and I can now type away on it. The keyboard itself is very nice for me. I'm kind of a big guy. I'm 6'2" with 265 pounds, so a pretty large fella, and I've got big hands and big fingers, and so keyboard size is a very important thing for me. And one of the quirks I had with my old case was that the keyboard was kind of small. This one is not quite full size. It's about 90% of a full size case, but still big enough and comfortable enough for me to type on. And so I'm sure for you as well, unless you're a bit bigger than I am. But it is definitely very comfortable. You got space down here to rest your wrist to type. It's got the little indents on the F and J button, so you can feel, if you're like me, a no-look kind of typer, and find where you need to be perfectly. The only quirk I have about button size on this is the shift key down here on the right side. See if you can see that, but it's very small. It's about the size of a normal button, which makes for me kind of hard to hit because I tend to shoot a little farther, and I've hit the up arrow here or even the end key that's on the other side of the up arrow, and so that's about the only complaint I have, really. The keys are a little bit smaller than a normal keyboard, but they're not that bad. Definitely better than the old case that I had. That was quite a pain to type on, to be honest with you. But the keyboard layout, it's got command keys, control, option on each side. So if you use those command and option shortcuts in your keyboard, it'll work great for that as well. Along the top is probably the neatest feature, I think. It's got several specialized buttons just for the iPad, and I won't go over every single one of them here, but kind of highlight them. The first one is the home button, which is nice whenever you're I just turned off the keyboard for some reason, and you want to it works just like your home button over here. That's all it is. You just hit it, takes you out of the app. If you're on a different page, hit it again, it'll take you to your home page, your first page. Hit it again, of course, it'll take you to your search page. And then also it works well, like if you double tap it, just like your home button, it brings up your multitasking bar so you can go through all your other apps that you've been on that day. So it works really well. Right next to it is a keyboard button that will actually allow you to bring up the on-screen keyboard. And this is nice because sometimes, when I'm on Facebook, I don't want to use the big old keyboard. And I'll have the case in tablet mode, which I'll show you in just a moment. And that allows me, even though this keyboard is paired with my iPad, that button allows me to bring up the on-screen keyboard so I can just type a real quick update or whatever, or comment, and not have to be flipping the case around back and forth. There's a search button, there's cut, copy, paste on there as well. That makes it real easy. Select all. You can select all of the text in a post or on a document or whatever. And then over here it's got the media buttons for playing your media, previous song, next song, pause, all that kind of stuff, just like you would have if you scrolled over and were on your multitasking bar. And then on the last few buttons are volume, mute, lower volume, and raise volume. And those are nice too for just quickly raising your volume or lowering it, whatever you might need while you're listening to a video or music. And so that's a keyboard. It's, again, very comfortable to type on. I've had no problems typing on it. About the only issue I've seen with it is that occasionally, especially the O button and one or two others, I'll hit it and it'll hit type 2 numbers or letters real quick. So I don't know if that's just a sensitivity thing or if I'm just hacking on it too hard maybe. But otherwise, a very great typing experience. The buttons are laid out just great, I think, for me anyways. And I really enjoy typing on this. I've done some updates on Facebook and some articles and different things already with it, and so it's been a real pleasure to use, to be honest with you. Now, as far as the mode to use, right now you can see it's in laptop mode. It looks just like a laptop, okay? And that's great for sitting on your lap, sitting on your desk, typing away, whatever, still using the iPad touchscreen and such like that. Then it has, you flip the case over 270 degrees or so, whatever, however you want to angle it. You can, and that's the thing I like about it too, is you can adjust the angle completely, whatever's comfortable for you, whatever position you're sitting. But this allows you to watch videos. I'll oftentimes just set it on my lap like this and use my iPad like normal. That way I don't have to hold on to it. It works very well for me that way. But again, watching videos, movies, anything like that, you can set in this mode. And then it has tablet mode, which is when you fold the case all the way back, okay, and you can use it just like a regular tablet and do whatever you normally do with it. Now, the thing about this case that will set off some users, and you know, it's one of those things you have to decide if you want to live with or not, is that it is rather bulky. I mean, even in tablet mode, you see it's pretty thick. It adds about 1.5 pounds of weight to your iPad. It's a little heavy. You know, for the first time the other day in a while, I took my iPad out, and it's like, wow, I forgot how light this thing was, to be honest with you. But, you know, for me, this gives me the flexibility. I can use it in tablet mode just like a regular tablet if I want to. I can flip it up and watch movies or just be on Facebook or whatever. And then when I want to do some serious typing, I can flip it around and use it in laptop mode. Now, one thing to point out is with the double hinge allowing you to go back and forth like this, when you go from tablet mode or media mode back into laptop mode, you actually have to close it pretty much all the way to reset the hinge and then open it back up, or else the hinge will be kind of funky and you could cause some damage to it. So that, you know, that to me is a great thing about this case, is the flexibility of it. I can use it different ways for different purposes. The weight doesn't bother me. It might bother some. It does, like I said, make it a bit heavier, about 1.5 pounds. And so it's up to you on what you want. If you don't do a lot of typing, if you don't do a lot of writing with your iPad, then just a regular smart cover case of some kind or other folio case would be just fine for you. But this to me is a great tool. It's exactly what I've been wanting. I'm very excited with it. Again, I can't really think of any complaints about it at all, other than the small shift key on the right side. Now, one more thing to point out too, just so you're aware of it, when you do close it, you'll notice it's not quite closed all the way. Okay, when you close it from it doesn't close all the way. Even if you kind of squeeze it, it still is open a little bit there. But in the instruction manual, they tell you that when you close it, what you got to do is you got to give the hinge a squeeze. And once you squeeze the hinge, it's closed. It stays closed. It doesn't flop around, open back up at all. Okay. And again, the magnetic strip that's on the top of the case there will put it in sleep and then wake it up for you when you open, which I find fancy as handy as well. And so this is the Crux 360 case. Again, probably not for everybody, but for me, who is more interested in using this as mainly a laptop type device instead of, you know, plus, you know, for me this is smaller than a laptop. It's more mobile than a laptop. I've got the flexibility that if I don't want to use this case, I can pop it out, throw my smart cover back on it, and, you know, I'm back to my thin profile, lightweight iPad. So depends on what you want to use it for. And so for me, I choose to use my iPad more as a laptop. I take it everywhere. I do everything on it that I possibly can. And this case works great. And I highly recommend it. Again, you get them on Amazon. You get them from the Crux website, which I'll put in the description of this video. And you can't go wrong. The Crux 360 Delta. Thank you for watching. I hope it was a help to you. If you're have any feedback for me, this is the first time I've done any kind of video blog or vlog as they call it. Let me know if you got some criticism, critique, some help, some suggestions, some ideas. Let me know. Shoot me in the comments. Shoot me an email. I'd be glad to listen and take that as well. If this completely sucked, feel free to tell me, but tell me why, please, so I can make it better in the future. And thank you for watching. And please, please, please share this video, like it, tell your friends about it. And I'll do more of these in the future on different topics as well. So just keep an eye out. And thank you for watching the video version of BROWNie's Babblings. Have a great day.